Hey everybody, welcome back. I have had so many requests to do my daytime and nighttime skincare routine. I've come up with a new series that I'm going to incorporate on my channel, which is my most repurchased fill in the blank. So in this case, this is going to be my most repurchased skincare, but I hope to do one for hair care, maybe even makeup. I know it takes a long time to get through makeup, so maybe I'll have to get creative with that video, but either way, this video should provide you all the information. I'll go through the order that I put things on and why, and you're also learning what my favorite products are at the same time. Today, the focus is all on the skin. First, I'm gonna walk through the daytime version and then we'll go and walk through the nighttime version. So kind of lump it into one because a lot of the products are very similar. And these are my most repurchased skincare products. These are the ones that I think do the best job for my skin. In case you were wondering, I have normal skin. It's sometimes combination skin. I would say I can, range from extremely dry in the winter to extremely greasy in the summer, kind of giving me that combo feel. But right now, when we're kind of in between seasons, I'm pretty much flat out normal. Some of my biggest skincare concerns, honestly, just kind of hormonal acne. I don't think that I have a whole lot of premature aging going on, but I do use a lot of skincare to kind of prevent that. And some of these right here are my all-time favorites. So let's dive right in. First things first, I always wash my face. When I wake up in the morning, that is my first step. And as most of you probably know, I'm a firm believer in the Clarisonic. I have mine in the Mia 2. I know they're getting ready to discontinue this specific model, but they have come out with a new one that's pretty much the same. It just has a more like ergonomic handle, and they've kind of redone a lot of the brush heads. I right now have the black one, which is the sensitive skin brush head, and I just purchased a 4-pack gift set one time. This is something that you constantly have to rebuy. You typically get a little money off the top if you buy it in a gift set. So that's the way that I typically like to do that. So I start with my Clarisonic, and then I usually pair it with this. This is what sits by my sink every day. This is the Paula's Choice Perfectly Balanced Foaming Cleanser. It gives a light lather. It easily removes your makeup and oil. This is my Die Hard cleanser. This is part of their Resist line, which is kind of their anti-aging line. I like this because it comes in a pump, and you can easily pump it onto the Clarisonic and then go in, wash your face, and you're done. So the next step is I move on to eye cream, and my most repurchased eye cream is this Origins Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream to brighten and depuff. I have beat this to death in my product empties. I feel like you already know what it's about, but really quickly, I just wanted to let you know that it really does do a good job of brightening your under eye. I used it today, and it kind of just gives an illusion that that part of your skin is a lot brighter. I don't think that it's totally healed my dark circles over time, but it does layer really well under makeup. It soaks into the skin, and it doesn't leave those like white patches of just moving product around that I struggle with a lot of eye cream. So this one has definitely been my go-to. As you can see, it's kind of a light peachy iridescent color, and I just use a tiny little drop under my eyes, and then I use my ring finger just to kind of pat it in, smooth it out, rub it around. You definitely want to use a finger that's your less dominant finger. You want to avoid tugging and pulling on that really thin skin under your eye, because that's kind of where you can start to loosen it up. Maybe it would create a little bit more wrinkles. Really be gentle when you're applying your eye cream. After my eye cream typically comes my moisturizer. My most repurchased moisturizer for the daytime, again, comes from Origins. This is the Origins Ginseng, same line as the eye cream, ultra hydrating, energy boosting cream. Now, there's something a little bit different about this and then the normal daytime moisturizer that I purchase. This recently came in a gift set, again, always buying in gift sets because it's a lot cheaper, from the Origins store, where I talked to the guy. I don't know how long this has been around, but I typically use the gel energy boosting cream, which is not this white and thick. It's actually more like transparent. It's a lot looser formula, and I think that it's really perfect for me in the summertime. But in the wintertime, when my skin is drier, as I mentioned earlier, I kind of have that combo skin. This has actually been really awesome. And so this is the ultra hydrating version of the exact same moisturizer. They cost the exact same. They're both, I think, $29.50. But in the gift set that I bought, I got this full-size moisturizer and 4 other mini products for $27. So for less than the price of the actual moisturizer itself, I got 5 products. It smells really good and fresh. It's really orangey, hence the orange packaging. It's just really effective. I think that it sinks into your skin so nicely. It really does a good job of providing moisturization all day long. Sometimes daytime moisturizers can be really good at first, and then they kind of disappear and you feel like, well, now I feel like I need to reapply. Never have that issue with this. Highly, highly recommend. So that's pretty much it for my daytime skincare routine, but there are some modifications depending on which foundation or maybe BB cream or CC cream that I'm using that day. But typically I'm using something like this. This is a BB cream by Misha. It's the Perfect Cover BB cream. I have this in the shades 21, which I'm wearing today because it's winter. I'm a bit more fair. I'll own up to it. And then I also have it in the shade 23, which you can see I've almost fully used up. This is just a little bit darker, but both really work for my skin tone. They tend to sheer out. They really match the color of your skin, and it leaves this really pretty dewy look. Like, I have powder over my face right now, but you still see how it's kind of healthy and shiny, but not in a like, whoa, she's super greasy way. And that's what I really love about these. There's no fuss. I prefer to put them on with my fingers and not with a tool of any sort, not a beauty blender, not a brush, which makes this the perfect travel BB cream and CC cream. If I'm using this, I don't put an additional SPF on because this comes with SPF 42. If maybe I'm looking for something that has a little bit more coverage that day, or if I'm going out that night or something and I want a real foundation, foundations typically don't have as high as SPF as that like 42 BB cream over there. So this one has SPF 15. So in that case, I would add a step to my daytime skincare routine and I would put on some sort of sunscreen. This is the one that I have right now that I received in a FabFitFun box, and this is the Coolest Sport SPF 50. This is a perfect thin formula that doesn't leave your face super white like you're going to the beach kind of sunscreen. It layers really well under makeup, and I feel like it hydrates pretty well. I haven't had any breakouts, no clogged pores, nothing with this. So I really, really like this face sunscreen. In fact, I always use something that's labeled as a true face sunscreen on my face. I'm not somebody who uses the body lotion sunscreen on my face because I want to just avoid unnecessary breakouts if possible. This one has been really good to me. It pairs really well specifically with this number 7 Stay Perfect foundation. This I have also found applies the best and provides the most coverage when you apply it with your fingers. If you apply it with a sponge, I feel like the sponge totally soaks up the product. I was having to use 2 to 3 times as much than was truly necessary because the sponge was eating half the product. And then with the brush, I felt like it really sheared out the product too much. And in that case, if I don't want a lot of coverage, I might as well just use my BB cream. So if you want the coverage of a real foundation, I found that this one specifically applies best with my fingers. So that is it for my daytime skincare routine. My nighttime skincare routine is a little bit more involved, and it typically doesn't use a Clarisonic to start. I typically like to exercise during the day, which means that I'm normally taking a shower at night, sleeping with my hair wet, and waking up to get ready the next morning. So in that case, I'm washing my face in the shower. The first step there would be using this cleanser, and this is the Paula's Choice Hydrating Gel to Cream Cleanser. This again does a wonderful job of removing makeup, excess dirt and oils. Put this on my fingers, put it on my face, and then I use a washcloth to kind of rub my face off, get that extra exfoliation. It really helps me actually get the makeup off. I never just use my hands to wash my face, period. I've just noticed that it doesn't get the makeup off. I can see it on the towel later. You can fight me on this, it's okay, but this is my process. So this is from their Defense line. This is something that I tried in a mini size and mentioned at a product empties, and I did end up buying the full size. The next step for me is exfoliation. So I alternate between these two most repurchased products. Every other day I use the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 2% BHA gel with salicylic acid. This again, I feel like I've kind of talked to death. This is always with me in my drawer. I never am without this. I even travel with this because it means that much to me. This is what the bottle claims that it does. It says it creates radiant, even-toned skin, unclogs and diminishes large pores, smooths wrinkles and fine lines. Yes, 100%, I totally agree. This is one of those products that when I put it on, I visibly saw results when I woke up the next morning. Not a whole lot of skincare does that for me because I don't have what you would call necessarily problem skin. But when a product like this like visibly shrunk my pores, left me looking radiant, your skin just looks so healthy and loves this. It truly does unclog your pores and cleans it out. Really helps to prevent against acne because it does have salicylic acid in it. So on the days when I'm not using that Paula's Choice exfoliant, I'm going to be using some type of toner product like this one. This is 100% my most repurchased item of that kind of category. And this is the First Aid Beauty Facial Radiance Pads. They help exfoliate, tone, and brighten. They're alcohol-free and safe for sensitive skin. It has these little cotton pads that are completely saturated with the toner. And all you do is take one cotton pad, rub it gently all over your face, and that's kind of my step in the days that I'm alternating between that other exfoliant. When I take this out of my skincare routine, I do notice a difference. And I've tried other toners. I've even tried the kind that you kind of like apply to your own cotton pad. I just love that these are so evenly saturated. The formula and the products inside this work. They're fragrance free, they're non-irritating, they're good for all skin types, and this is something that, this is probably my 4th or 5th full size of this. Exfoliation really is my favorite step. But after that, this oil, and I have actually worked through this entire bottle. It's taken a long time, like probably 9 months or so, but this marula oil has truly made a difference in my skin's hydration levels. I just repurchased a new bottle of this through the FabFitFun add-ons, and this is the Marula Pure Beauty Oil. It's just pure marula facial oil. When you unscrew the cap, you can see this part of the cap will raise up. So then you lift it out, you can tell the liquid has filled the entire dropper, and I use that much on my face. I found that using an entire dropper full and putting that all over my face very gently, kind of in like a tapping manner. So I like put it on my fingers and then I kind of make sure that it's smoothed all around my face, and then I go like this, and then I also do this little motion just to kind of like pat it in, let it sink in. And marula is known to have like an antimicrobial, antibacterial properties to it, and so it actually also helps fight against acne, and I let you know that that's my primary skin concern, so that's why I've really loved incorporating marula oil into my skincare routine, especially in the winter when my skin's at its driest. The order that you apply skincare can kind of be controversial. I kind of like to say keep the products that need to be like the most effective and like change your skin closest to your skin. So that's why I cleanse my skin to get all the bad stuff off. Then I exfoliate because I really want that working really, really close to my skin. Then I apply the oil because that also has those, you know, antibacterial properties to it. Then I apply the moisturizer because that's just a thicker thing to kind of seal everything in. So that's how I like to approach my skincare. Some people say that you go thinnest to thickest in like the consistency of your products, which could also be good. But for me, my next step is moisturizer. These two are my most repurchased skincare. And it's funny because I really like this stuff, but I don't love it. But I think it comes in all of those value kits that I buy when I try to go for First Aid Beauty. And so I've ended up using it a lot. I think it's a great basic cream. Like especially in the summer, I think that this is the perfect nighttime skincare for me. In the winter, I really, really love the Origins High Potency Night Mints. Right now, I'm working with a little mini that I got in a gift set for my birthday. It smells very similar to kind of their orangey products from the ginseng line. And this is another product that you like wake up and you see instant results. You're like, wow, my skin is so moisturized and plumped and healthy looking. That's why I keep going back to this again and again and again. I love this product. I just don't even know what else to say. This is just my #1 go-to nighttime moisturizer. This, like I mentioned, it is fine. It's really good. It's this humongous tube. In fact, it's 6 ounces worth of just this white moisturizing cream. Now this, I kind of use a little bit more than I should maybe because I like to take moisturizers all the way down my neck and anything that's kind of like connected to the face. When I was graduating high school, this little old lady that went to my church actually gave me that tip. She was like, if there's one thing I can tell you to take with you to college, it's moisturize your neck, because a lot of people forget about it. But it is something that is really thin skin. It's very close to your face. If you want this to look all young and pretty, you probably want this to look young and pretty too. There's my advice passed on from the little old lady at church. Now I also use a nighttime eye cream, but it's not like a huge staple in my routine, and I know that might be kind of strange. The one that I'm using right now is from Pharmacy, and I didn't want to include it because it's definitely not my most repurchased. It's just kind of when I remember, because I feel like my moisturizers are doing a pretty good job. So those are my basic steps, but I wanted to go ahead and throw in some other key players in my skincare routine that I use just like once or twice a week or every so often. One of those being face scrubs. Now I have these two right here. These are 2 products that I got in FabFitFun as well. That's actually how I was introduced to facial scrubs. These 2 are not necessarily my most repurchased, but both of them have similar formulas to 2 other facial scrubs that I've used in the past. This Vasanti Brighten Up Enzymatic Face Rejuvenator Exfoliating Cleanser enriched with papaya, microcrystals, and aloe is very, very similar to the Dr. Brandt Microdermabrasion Facial Scrub. I'll put a picture on the screen. I've had 2 full bottles of those, 2 from 2 different subscription boxes, and I loved it. It's like super duper fine sand like scrubbing on your face, and it's awesome. This is my preferred type of face scrub. And I think that physically exfoliating your skin maybe once or twice per week does a really good job of getting off any extra dead skin cells and allowing your skincare to really work wonders once you apply it later. Another formula that I have, this one is actually from Grown Alchemist. This is a polishing facial exfoliant with pink grapefruit. Now this to me is very reminiscent of the Kate Somerville Exfoliate. It looks like just a pure white moisturizer, but it actually has a lot thicker granules, much like the Exfoliate. So if you've tried either the Dr. Brandt one or the Exfoliate, know that these both are alternatives to those. This one more like Dr. Brandt, this one more like Exfoliate. I personally like even finer, tiny little things that really do a good job of getting in there and really exfoliating your skin. Another step is face masks. I went through a phase where I had a ton of sheet masks on backup, and I tried to incorporate those maybe once or twice a week. I'm not really good at remembering because typically I'm doing stuff up until the time I go to bed, and I don't have a whole lot of time for face masks. But when I do use them, I really prefer just sheet masks that are saturated in something because I think that they do a really good job of adding moisturization. But another mask that I'm quite surprised that I like are actually these that are kind of like honey. Do you see that? It looks just like honey. It smells not really like honey. They definitely added some kind of fragrance to this. This is the Foundation of Truth Honey Glow Mask. This was sent to me in Influencer with a couple of other products. I did not like their other products. This is the only one that I kept. What's interesting about this is it's super thick, but let me show you what it does. If I get a little product on my finger and then I start to rub it around, it actually starts to warm up and it forms this white kind of foamy-ish cream on your skin. And then you just let that sit and it does a really good job of brightening. And I think that might be the theme that you see that I like about skincare, is I like to look fresh and dewy and brightened and luminous and young, and I don't want to be like weighed down by my makeup. And I think that this does a really good job of brightening your skin, and it has such an interesting texture and formula that this can really last you a long time because you don't have to use much product. Another step that I take every single night is putting on this Laneige lip sleeping mask or some type of really thick lip balm. While this is not related to like facial skincare, this is still something that's on my face that I really like to take care of. I struggle with super duper dry lips, and this has truly been the answer for all seasons. It's this really thick pink lip balm that just does a really good job of just kind of like sealing it in, and overnight you wake up and your lips are still like, you can rub them together and they're still like silky smooth and you can feel a little bit of product. So it does a really good job of sinking into your skin and really plumping things up. In the winter, this has been my savior. That is it. Those are my most repurchased skincare items and my skincare routine all jam-packed into one video. Hopefully you'll tune in maybe for my most repurchased hair care and makeup that will be, I don't know, filmed and posted at some point down the road. But if you like this video, then like it. Please subscribe, stick around, join the community, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.